It is that time now once again, for getting lumped up with my friends. It's RockerMike and Rob that you should know, and you'll find them here on the Rock Show. Ooh, yeah, on the Rock Show.
Today we could do like a little special tribute to a member of ZZ Top that passed away, Dusty Hill. What you got for me, Mike?
Yeah, Dusty Hill passed away this week at the age of 72. He was the bass player, a very important part of the rhythm section for ZZ Top for 50 years, basically, more than 50 years. And it's a sad loss. He was a good guy. Never heard anything bad about him ever. Okay, you never. In fact, all of ZZ Top, you never heard anything bad about. But yeah, it's a sad loss, and a lot of people, tributes and a lot of condolences have been pouring in like crazy from people of all different genres. That quote ZZ Top as a big influence, and they were. Are you a fan of the band?
Yeah, I like ZZ Top. I seen them live many years ago.
Really?
Yeah, it was like one of those rare occasions. I went to some event and they were there.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, our generation, we grew up with, the Eliminator album, which was like, Legs and Sharp Dressed Man and all that stuff. And I mean, there was a time when that album broke, you could not get away from that band.
No.
But they were already famous. That was by far their biggest selling record.
Yeah.
But they did sell 25 million records overall. A lot of records.
And they had that great MTV. They had some great MTV videos too.
Yeah, that Eliminator album came at a perfect time. I want to say, what was it, 83, 84 came out?
Yeah.
It came at a perfect time in history because the video was a new thing. MTV was getting popular, and they made these like great videos with the car and and even after that they always made cool videos. Let's put it that way. And it fit that whole era of MTV very well. Yeah, they got popular because of that.
Yeah, because he was technically he was still playing. He wasn't really retired.
Oh no. ZZ Top's still around. They've been quiet over the last few years, but I don't think they were officially retired or anything like that. No. I want to give a little history at Dusty because he's got a cool. In fact, this will be just a short history because I am planning to do a full podcast on ZZ Top after the new year, and we might have a guest with that and everything. And so I'll just give a quick little thing about Dusty. Now, he was born Joseph Michael Hill on May 19th, 1949 in Dallas. His first instrument was actually a cello, okay? And he played that in high school. But he loved listening to, and he grew up listening to blues music. His favorites were Muddy Waters and Son House. So he's in good company there. Hill began singing for money at age 8 with his older brother, Rocky, who played guitar. By the time Dusty was 13, he had picked up a bass, okay, along with playing his cello. Now, Dusty, his brother Rocky, and future ZZ Top member Frank Beard played in a band called the Warlocks from 1960 to 68, based out of Dallas. There was also a band that they had, which was a fake version of the British band The Zombies, okay, with Beard in the band as well. And that's an interesting phenomenon that used to happen in the 60s.
Yeah.
Bands that said they were the original band and were not. I don't know. You could get away with it then, I guess. You can't do that now. But, so he was traveling around saying he was in the Zombies, and it wasn't even the Zombies. Now, did you notice that the guy Frank Beard, who was in ZZ Top, okay, this is when he met him, became friends with him. I always thought it was funny, and I guess it's intentional. He never grew a beard, Frank Beard. he was the only guy in ZZ Top without the beard.
Yeah.
And his name was Beard. So I always thought that was funny.
That was irony.
it had to be intentional, right?
Yeah.
Now, back in the 60s, Dusty was a rebel right off the bat. He actually had blue hair in the late 60s, okay? Long blue hair. And he recalled actually that the length of his hair was actually more of a problem than the color, okay? People just thought he was absolutely nuts. Which, a guy having long blue hair in the 60s was definitely crazy, especially in Texas. Now, Rocky, Frank Beard, and Dusty had also started a band at this period called American Blues. But they would break up over creative differences, and Dusty and Beard moved down to Houston, where they met guitarist singer Billy Gibbons. Billy was in a band called the Moving Sidewalks. They were like a garage rock, psychedelic kind of band. After the breakup of the Moving Sidewalks, the three of them formed ZZ Top, and they released their first single, which was a song called Salt Lick in 1969. Dusty played bass and keyboards in ZZ Top, for the whole existence of the band. And that was a 50-year career, that he had. And they got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2004. So at the time of his death this week, on July 27th, Billy Gibbons announced that ZZ Top would continue with their guitar tech, Elwood Francis, picking up the bass job. And that was Dusty's last wishes, supposedly, that the band would go on with their guitar tech now taking over the bass playing role.
Wow.
So maybe they'll put out an album. I'm sure it'll be good. It's a sad loss, but he had a long career.
Yeah, definitely, man. 50 years of playing.
Yeah, 50 years of playing in the same band. I mean, who does that?
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it until I started reading that they've been around that long.
Yeah, well, they once the early 70s, they kind of broke through with the Trey Hombres album, Hombres, with like tush on it and cheap sunglasses, and that's what I always loved, the song Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers.
Yeah,
that's
a great
early
song.
ZZ Top song I always liked, and Motorhead does a great cover of that as well. So I just I wanted to give a little tribute to him. He will be missed, and it's sad, but the band will go on. Supposedly,
the band will go on. And we also got some stuff from a guy named Mark Death.
Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to Mark Death and his new band, The Plane. Always looking out for new music, and these days you really got to look, okay? And what's great about doing these podcasts and dealing with the social media, and we're really getting our name out there, Rob. I get a lot of people that send me music.
Yeah, it's good.
And, yeah, I mean it's some of it is really good stuff, and I think and we kind of talked about this a few times during the last year and a half with the pandemic, that we hope that there might be some new kind of punk scene that comes out of this, or we definitely know that people are sitting home and writing music and recording, and while they were kind of locked away. Okay, so people had to do something. Now there's this guy Mark Death. He's out of Portland, Oregon, and he has a new band that he's in. He's been playing around in a couple of bands, but he has a band now called The Plane Crash, and he sent me some songs that I really liked. But I want to give you a little description. Okay. Basically, he claims that they formed the band a few months before the pandemic started. They have yet to play out, but they have recorded some demos. The first show is actually going to be in Portland, Oregon on October 23rd at the Lay Low Tavern. The band called The Plane Crash. They're playing with a bunch of other bands. The flyer will be up on the Rockshow podcast group page. I think I put it up already. If not, I will put it up closer to the date. I'll make sure you guys see it because I know we have people in Portland that listen. Mike Skill from the Romantics, we interviewed him recently, and he's from Portland. We got a guy named James Farris from the punk rock band Moral Crux, and he's from the Seattle area, I believe, and Washington and that general, upper northwest area. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people that listen from there too. So Mark Death is the lead vocalist and lead guitarist in the Plane Crash. He was in a band called the Hot LZs and also a band called the Money Changers in that area. I got a guy named Harry Gadd on bass. He's on backing vocals as well. A guy named Gene Hanna on rhythm guitar. Blake Dorsey is on drums. And they basically describe themselves as simple 3-chord rock and roll with no gimmicks. Their influences are Johnny Thunders, Chuck Berry, The Stooges, Crime, and Rocket from the Tombs. Can't go wrong with any of those bands.
Nah, that's pretty good.
Crime definitely is a very cool influence. They influence a lot of West Coast people. But there's going to be a 4-song demo released soon, according to them. The 3 songs that I heard, one was called 72 Hour Blues, another song called Prove Me Wrong, and a song called Nothing on My Mind. I was very impressed with all 3. I like Mark's vocals. He reminded me of C.J. Ramone's vocals. You might not really think much about that, but, in the later years of the Ramones, C.J. had taken over for Dee Dee's role as bass, and he also sang some songs and wrote some songs. And they were some of the best songs of that era of the Ramones. So I really like C.J.'s voice, and Mark Death kind of has a similar tone in his voice. He's also been compared, he said, to Johnny Thunders and others. But I kind of hear a little CJ in that voice, and I like it. Just 3-chord, simple punk rock, catchy hooks. All you could ask for. I mean, if you got ADD and you can only deal with a 2-minute song like me, it's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Okay? So, if you like your music short and sweet, check them out. I hope these guys can get a record contract. I hope they do a little tour. I would love to see them come out here. I wish them all the best. And let's hope something happens for them. So they're called the Plane Crash. And we're going to post this music or links to them, okay, on the podcast for today. And check them out if you're in the Portland area. October 23rd at the Lay-Low Tavern, the Plane Crash.
The Plane Crash. All right, Mike. Thank you for the information on Dusty and giving us information on some new music, a new band.
Yeah, I'm always trying to find something. So, hopefully we could check out some other new bands soon, too.
Yeah, and for everybody out there, remember, don't get drunk.
Get lumped up.
See you next week.
Take care, people.
The only podcast you will hear that will be music to your ears. You'll learn about bands you love or may not know, and it's only here on the Rock Show. Ooh, yeah, on the Rock Show. Ooh, yeah, on the Rock Show. So tell your friends and everyone you know. Let's get lumped up on the Rock Show.